This recording will go over the answer key to the Tutorial 3, Case 1, Chemistry 303 final scores. So I'm going to mostly focus on the highlights of it versus doing things like saving and entering your name into the documentation sheet. So you can see in here that we have a professor who has grades. Certain exams are weighted at certain percentages. You can see exam 1 is weighted at 20%. Exam 2 and 3 also 20%. The final exam is weighted at 40%, and that's used to calculate your overall score. So we're going to start in cell F17, and as we go through here, all calculations start with an equal sign. We're going to take the exam 1 score times the weight that exam score contributes to the final or overall score. We add to that the second exam, multiply that by the weight for that exam. Then we add the third exam multiplied by the weight, and then add the final exam score multiplied by the weight. Now this is good for this cell, but it won't work if we try and fill it down, because as we do fill it down, we do want B17 to change to B18 as we try and calculate the overall score for this student in row 18, but we don't want C8, which is the exam 1 weight, to change to C9. So what we need to do is we need to absolute reference all of those weight percentages so that as we fill this formula down, none of those references change. And I did that simply by clicking in the cell reference and striking the F4 key, which inserts the absolute referencing. I can hit enter, and then I can go ahead and use the fill handle to fill this down for all the students. And that takes care of step 3 and 4. In cell B5, use the count function. So we want to count the number of students. Because I'm counting, these are not numbers. These are viewed as text in row in A17 and down. Because they have dashes in them, dashes are not numbers. I need to do a count A function. So I type in count A, which counts the number of cells in the range that aren't empty. Start my parenthesis, and then I can highlight all of the student IDs so I can count the number of students. And my parenthesis, and there are 36 students. In step 6, they want you to calculate the median starting in cell D8, so I'm going to use the median function. If you're not sure ever how to use a function, you can always click here on the function, insert function button, and it'll pull up the function wizard for you to follow in order to complete your function. So it says here that returns the median or the number in the middle of the set of given numbers. Well, I'm trying to find the median for exam 1, so I'm going to click here and then highlight all of the scores for exam 1. Go back to my wizard and click on OK. And so I can do that for the rest of these as well. Use the median function and highlight the range. Oops. If you wanted to, you could also fill down and then just change the range to the appropriate one that you wanted, because as we fill down, it changes the range, but not according to the range we actually need. So if you wanted to just fill down, you could change the range. Alright, so there we have all of the medians. The overall median is the median for the overall score. And here we have the max function. We can do equals max and start your parenthesis. And here's where, so the maximum for exam 1, we want to highlight the exam 1 range. Find the highest number in that range, and you could keep doing that for all of them. For the minimum, the function word is min. So we type in the function word, start your parenthesis, highlight the range for exam 1. To find the minimum for exam 1, and then the range is the difference between the maximum and the minimum. So we can just do an equals and take the maximum minus the minimum to get the range for exam 1. And you can go ahead and fill those down. Remember, the overall relates to this overall column, so you shouldn't be doing the max of these 4 numbers here. It should be the maximum of this column like this. another way to shorten this is I've done the max here, and I want the ranges to be the same. So what I can do is I can absolute reference the ranges if I wanted to. Then I can fill this to the right and then just change the function word from max to min. And then here do the equals maximum minus the minimum. So if you're looking for shortcuts to do that, we can do that to just fill across and then change the function word. So this says median and we want the max. This says minimum and we want the max, or the min, sorry. And this we can just fill down. Oops. All right, so you get the idea there, and so that takes care of steps 6 through 10. In step 11, it says use conditional formatting to highlight the top 10 scores in the range F17 to F52. So you're going to highlight that range, and then you're going to go to conditional formatting and do a top or bottom rules, and you're going to choose the top 10 items. It gives you how you want to format it. You can choose any of these preset formats, or you can go to custom format. It asks for the light red fill with the dark red text, so we're going to leave that. And you can see here now the top 10 scores are highlighted. Insert a page break at cell A14, so we're going to click in A14, go to page layout and breaks, insert page break. And then it asks us to repeat the first 3 rows on the printout. So we're going to go to page layout and print titles and do rows 1 through 3. So if that wasn't filled in, we would just highlight rows 1 through 3. Then if you print preview, you can see what that would look like. So we have it broken at A14, first 3 rows on the page, second page, first 3 rows are printing again, and we have the second part of our range. And that is it for tutorial 3, case problem 1.